Hi everyone, welcome back to another rendition of Food for the Journey with Deacon Lee Wynn. You know, God really bothers me sometimes. He's just not with the program. He just continues to do things his own way, not my way. I'll give you a quick example. About 10 years ago, I have a close friend who, he was born and raised Catholic, was baptized and everything, but in his early adult life, he basically left the church. He didn't really care about God or the church. In fact, he lived a pretty ungodly life. And on top of that, he viewed the church, he viewed God pretty negatively. He started to talk bad about the church, about God, about the priesthood, about the diaconate, anything that involves church, he was completely against. Yet somehow, through life experiences, he had a deep conversion experience. And when he had that deep conversion experience, I remember him coming into the church building half an hour before Mass, shaking and crying in disbelief and in deep love, and he was actually in tears, saying to himself that Jesus is here with me in the tabernacle. And you know what? I've never had that kind of experience. Me, who's been teaching catechism for 10 years before that, who's slaving away every weekend at the church, God didn't throw me that piece of bone. So on one hand, I was really amazed by the power of God, but on the other hand, I was like, this is not fair. This is not cool, God. Throw me a bone once in a while. But in this Sunday's reading, God reminds us through Isaiah that, Lee, my thoughts are not your thoughts. My ways are not your ways. In fact, as high as the heavens is above the earth, that's how far above my thoughts are your thoughts. And in fact, he goes on, and God reminds us through the parable today that there was a landowner, a vineyard, who goes out in the morning, invites workers who's just standing idle with nothing to do to come into his vineyard to do work, and agrees with them a day's wage. And he does the same thing again out at noon. He does the same thing again at 3. He does the same thing in the evening hours. And at the end of the day, he gives everyone the same amount of wage. And so that's how I felt. But that's how God is. And it's kind of hard to understand is because it's pretty much in the same vein that the prodigal son story is, where even though the son had already burned everything, the father's always there with open arms. The door's always open. And in fact, it's the same vein as the story about the lost sheep. Leaving behind the 99, yet going out to find the one darn sheep who runs away and gets caught in the bushes somewhere. Yet that is the thought of God. And so it teaches me and it reminds me that perhaps the Father is like me as a father, who will never hold grudges against his own children, who despite what his children does, always goes out to seek to find them. And my heart can only be at peace when all of my children are back here at home safely with me. Even to the last second, hope always exists and the door is always open.